P-O-S-T.
P-O-S-T. Post. The cereals you like the most brings you the Roy Rogers Show, starring the king of the cowboys himself, Roy Rogers.
It's roundup
Time on the double R bar. So saddle your horse, 'cause we're gonna ride far.
The Double R Bar Ranch transcribed stories and songs of the real West with the Whippoorwills, the wisest trail scout of them all, Jonah Wild, played by Forrest Lewis, the Queen of the West, Dale Evans, and in person, the king of the cowboys, Roy Rogers.
Well, howdy, folks. This is Roy Rogers. Say, do you ever complain about having the same old breakfast day after day? Well, you don't need to, buckaroos. Just have Mom keep a supply of Post cereals on the shelf. Then you can choose the breakfast you want any time you want it. You can count on anything bearing the brand name Post. Well, sir, Dale and Jonah and I are on our way to Panhandle Hollow. The sheriff sent word that he's trapped Herb Selby in a cabin out there.
Better come out, Selby.
Hey, Sheriff!
I'm still here.
Hoping I got you. All right, I'm giving up. My ammunition's gone.
Hands over your head, then. No tricks. Come on.
You ought to get a big reward for this, lawman. Hey, why don't you make up some big story about the fight you had to take me? I'll sing along with you. Make it as big as you like. Look better for you than saying the only reason you got me was because I run out of ammunition.
Boy. Just in time, Roy, Dale. Lower your hands, Selby. Let's see how these fit your wrist.
Well, if it ain't Trigger and his friends. Come out to escort me to jail, did you, Rogers?
No, but it's a pleasure I won't turn down.
Then you better rope me to my horse and rope my horse to yours, or I'll bust loose on the way. Just like I'm going to bust out of that cracker box jail you got in Mineral City.
You sure talk big.
And why not? I got loot hidden all over this territory, and I won't sit in jail and let it rot.
We'll ride in with you, Sheriff. I don't like the way this hombre's acting.
Even that's a pretty good chunk of loot, ain't it? But I got still more hidden out. I got $1,400 last night. I held up Glenn DeBona, and the sheriff's been chasing me ever since. Now, could I have...
Glenn DeBona?
You're talking through your hat. If Glenn had been held up, he'd have reported it to my office, and no reporters come in. Let's go, Roy.
I don't think you realize what you're letting yourself in for, Selby. The more crimes you confess, the longer your sentence will have to be.
Except I'm not going to serve any sentence. I'm going to break out of here in a couple of days.
He's just a smart aleck kid.
But a bad hombre all the same.
All right, you want to bet on it? You want to bet I won't break out?
Sheriff, let's get DeBona over here and ask him if he was robbed. We've got to find out how much Selby's talk is truth and how much he lies.
Go right ahead. While we're waiting for him, I'll slip over to the bank. Some counterfeit money showed up there, and I want to get a report ready for the federal authorities.
Okay, Sheriff, I'll call him.
Make yourselves comfortable in the office.
We will, thanks.
Oh, I tell you, Roy, that blow the bugle here I come attitude of his is getting to be more than I can stand.
You wait here. I'll call Glenn.
Sure, Roy. Now, Jonah, you give the sheriff his dues.
He's going there to try and float a loan so he can get Dorothy May another present. But presents ain't going to do that polecat no good now. Not after last night.
What happened last night?
Well, he had a date with Dorothy May and didn't show up.
Well, she'll understand if a man's business keeps him from getting...
No, it weren't business that kept him away. No, sir. You see, I happened to pass by the sheriff's right after supper, and I seen him through the window. Cleaning spots off his celluloid collar with a piece of art gum eraser. Cheapskate. I knowed right away what he was up to, so I got Caroline Seplow to phone and say that she was a friend of Dorothy May's, and that Dorothy May was indisposed, and so would he not come over.
Why, Jonah Wild.
His goose is cooked. Dorothy May sat there all evening with nothing to do. Nothing to do but watch the clock and tap her foot.
Well, Glenn will be here in a few minutes. He seemed a little upset when I said we were at the sheriff's office.
He's probably on edge after working at the Mitchell Ranch all year and trying to help his sister keep the bakery going, too. This is the first week he hasn't had 2 jobs, remember?
No, Glenn didn't sound just edgy. There was fear in his voice, too. Well, he'll soon be here. We can find out then if anything is wrong.
While Roy, Dale, and Jonah wait, a thin, nervous figure walks hurriedly toward the office. Glenn DeBona. His hands are in his pockets. His head keeps twitching from side to side as though he expected someone might be trying to slip up behind him. He approaches the door. His face becomes set in strained lines. He enters and faces Roy, Dale, and Jonah.
Oh, howdy, Glenn. Sorry if we took you away from
what is
anything.
all this? What is all this? Where's the sheriff? You said on the phone he was looking for me.
The sheriff had to go to the bank. All we wanted was to ask whether or not you were held up last night.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
I just said I wasn't.
All right, don't be flying off the handle.
Well,
Take it easy, Glenn. The sheriff caught Herb Selby, and Selby's been confessing to every crime that's been committed around here for the last 6 months. Among other things, he said he held you up last night.
Well, if he said that, he's lying. I went out to Mitchell's ranch yesterday afternoon. Jim Mitchell was keeping money for me that I'd saved while I was working for him. And I brought that money back last night, right here, every penny of it. I used it this morning to pay what Sis and I owed on the bakery.
Okay, that's all right.
Well, if you want proof, you can go and ask her. I told you...
Glenn, we're not fighting you.
Well?
We just figured if you were held up, you'd want to sign a complaint against Selby, and we...
Well, I don't. And I got better use for my time than hanging around a sheriff's office. The bakery needs all my attention.
You're not as big a public enemy as we thought, Herb.
Just a big bag of wind.
All the holdups you told us about are probably brags.
If you want us to believe you're such a clever fella, you should offer some kind of proof.
Huh. Okay, I don't need that $1,400 I took from the bone. That's chicken feed. So I'll tell you where it is.
That'll sure help.
You know the cabin where the sheriff took me?
Yeah.
Well, there's a pine tree about 10 feet from the south corner. The money's at the base of the tree, on the side next to the cabin.
We'll have a look.
I'll probably be gone before you get back. But anyway, you'll know I back up my claim.
I doubt you'll be gone, Selby. I think you'll be right where you are for a long, long time.
At the base of the pine tree, Roy, Dale, and Jonah find a spot where the ground is packed less solidly than the rest. They dig down. Roy's shovel strikes something soft. He stops digging, reaches into the hole.
A leather pouch.
Yeah, and it's filled with something, too.
Money. Convolution.
There's some initials on it. J.M. But Glenn's initials are...
J.M. stands for Jim Mitchell. Jim must have loaned the pouch to Glenn.
Want me to count the money, Roy?
Yeah, go ahead. Jonah, something's mighty wrong here. We'll have to check deeper into what's happened.
Why, that Glenn DeBona's been lying like a goat.
Jonah, I know you don't like to be around the sheriff any more than you have to.
He's a polecat.
But while Dale and I ride in and turn this money over to him, you hightail it to Eddie Robertson's place. He's held a mortgage on the bakery, and find out if Glenn's paid off. But don't let him know anything is in the wind.
There's $1,400 here, exactly.
That's it, then. Come on. You and I'll ride in and hand it over to the sheriff. Jonah has something else to do.
I don't understand this, Roy. I don't understand it at all.
It's a mystery to us, too.
Glenn can't get his money back unless he admits it's stolen, can he?
Well, howdy, Jim.
Hello, Mr. Mitchell.
Afternoon, Jim.
Howdy. I understand you people have been trying to give Glenn DeBona a bad time.
Well, that's hardly true.
News travels fast, doesn't it, Jim?
I rode in to be a character witness for Glenn. He worked for me for a year, was one of the best hands I ever had. Did his work well, no carousing or gambling, and he saved his money.
Yeah, we understand he did.
He earned $1,200 while he was here and saved over $1,000 of it. Fact is, last night he came and took what he saved, $1,017.
1,017.
Nobody's accused Glenn of anything, Jim. Herb Selby claimed to have held him up.
Nobody'd better accuse him of anything either. Glenn's a good man. I'll back him to the hilt.
Well, no hard feelings, I hope.
No, I just dropped in to give Glenn a reference.
What do you make of that, Roy?
Hey, Roy. Oh, Roy.
What?
Roy, can I have the rest of the day off? I'm going to write another chapter in my book titled Honesty is the Best Policy. I'm inspired, Roy.
Where did you get all that money, Jonah?
Robbed somebody.
Oh, nothing like this has ever happened before. I was on my way to see Eddie Robertson, and I was hungry, because I didn't have no dinner this noon, you see.
He's lost his mind.
Well, Glenn's bakery wagon was in front of the livery stable, but Glenn wasn't nowhere around, so I left 20 cents and took a loaf of bread.
Always was right on the edge.
Well, sir, I went to eat some. Oh, hush. And a great big roll of $10 bills was inside of the loaf. And this proved that honesty is the best policy. For 20 cents, I got a loaf of bread and a roll of bills.
Wait a minute, Jonah. Sheriff, Glenn seems to have more money than a man in his position can rightfully account for. I think we'd better check up on him for keeps this time.
Say, it's easy to blaze the trail to a better day. Just start off with a rip-snorting breakfast built around new, improved Post Toasties. Fresh, crisp flakes of corn, rich with sweet kernel flavor. Yippee! What a feast!
Post Toasties, heap good cornflakes. The best thing that's happened to corn since the Indians discovered it. Heap good cornflakes. Post Toasties, heap good cornflakes.
And, Mom, if there's a paleface at your house who hasn't an appetite for breakfast, try setting a big bowl full of Post Toasties at his place and watch him eat hearty. Remember, Post Toasties with sugar and cream are heap good and heap good nourishment, too, for rockin' horse cowboys or big braves. So be a good scout, Mom. Dish up Post Toasties, the best thing that's happened to corn since the Indians discovered it.
Post Toasties, heap good cornflakes. The best thing that's happened to corn since the Indians discovered it. Heap good cornflakes. Post Toasties, heap good cornflakes.
Finding a roll of $10 bills in a loaf of bread is the last in a series of incidents that make Glenn DeBona a man of mystery. Until a few days ago, Glenn worked as a ranch hand and saved his money to pay off a mortgage on the bakery operated by himself and his sister. He claims to have paid this mortgage, yet an outlaw has proven that he took Glenn's money before the payment was made. In addition, Jonah discovered another roll of $10 bills.
Yeah, all this talk about inflation is just so much eyewash. I say, it's just so much eyewash. Did you ever hear of a bigger bargain than I got? A loaf of bread and a roll of $10 bills for 20 cents?
Are you all through now, Order?
Through what?
Jabbering. Roy's trying to say something.
Oh, convolution. Well, excuse me, Roy.
Well, I'm trying to find out whether or not you asked Eddie Robertson about Glenn paying off the mortgage.
Well, certainly I said. By doggies, I didn't. This windfall come to me and I clean forgot it.
I'll go, Roy.
Well, maybe Dale should, Sheriff. We don't want it to look official yet.
I'll take care of it.
You better stay right here. And be ready for trouble, Sheriff. Jonah and I will go on over to the bakery and have another talk with Glenn.
No, Glenn isn't here. Haven't seen him since morning.
You know where we can get in touch with him, Jean?
It's hard to say. My brother's not one to tell his business. Anything I can do for you?
Well, we were just wondering if there was any profit in bread at 20 cents a loaf, the way you bake it.
Well, not much, I can tell you.
Oh, I wouldn't think so. Here, Jean, we found this in a loaf of bread Jonah took off your
You
wagon.
get out of here with that money. It ain't ours, or you take it away.
Howdy, miss. I'd like to... Oh, excuse me. I didn't see you was waiting on somebody else.
They're just leaving.
Oh. Well, I'd like a loaf of bread. Mr. Mitchell, Jim Mitchell, said this is the place to get it.
We ain't got any. We're all out, for the time being.
There's some in the showcase, miss.
That's yesterday's bacon. I don't pawn off yesterday's stuff on somebody Mr. Mitchell sends in. And you come back later. Kind you want will be out of the oven soon.
Well, we may as well be going too, Jonah. You're sure this money doesn't belong to Glenn?
You keep that money out of sight and don't be showing it around here.
Well, the only thing I can do then, Jean, is to turn it over to the sheriff.
You turn it over to anybody you please, but don't be coming around here saying it's ours, 'cause it isn't.
Okay, whatever you say. I hope you won't regret this, Jean.
Doggies, there's more money in this town that nobody wants.
When somebody turns down money, Jonah, They usually have a pretty good reason.
Yeah. Hey, that's shooting.
It's coming from the sheriff's office. Let's get down there.